Hey, my friends, this is Barb Brimhall. Welcome back to another Step It Up stamping. And this is video 2 using the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar by Stampin' Up. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am in love with this calendar. Now, I want to share with you that it does come with a stamp set, which I am using only for the sentiments today. If you want one shown with the rest of the stamps, make sure you look up my previous Advent Calendar video that I did. And what I wanted to point out is that I do have complete instructions for you that as we go through the cards, I tell you what box that the product comes from. And I do that in the instructions just to make it easier for you to recreate these 3 cards, okay? All right, I'm so excited about today's card because this is the envelope I did. Let me remove that. Didn't need to show you that. This is done using Mossy Meadow cardstock, Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and then I'm not using stamps today for this. I am using stencils. And in my instructions, I walk you through step by step what ink to use, what stencils to use, how to do it. Very simple. So let me give you a close-up look at this so you can see the cardstock colors. They're so pretty. And I'm going to start with this. This is behind one of the doors. I can't remember which one right now, but it is a gold foiled. So I don't know if you can see that the little dots are gold foiling. You can kind of see the sparkle there a little bit. And I just stamped the sentiment in Mossy Meadow. And then what I did here is I used the first stencil and did all the bold part in Fresh Freesia ink. And then I went back and I did the more detailed part again in Fresh Freesia ink. I just applied a little bit heavier of a hand. Then with another stencil, because there's 4, so we've done 2 so far. With the third stencil, I did the inside of the flowers with Daffodil Delight ink. And then I did, which also did some of these leaves, and then I did the stems. So you use all 4 of the stencils, and they're super easy. And it even comes with a stencil brush. How cool is that? So this is our busy bee for when you need a card in a hurry. It comes together amazingly fast. You would be surprised. Now let's go and look at our worker bee card, which takes a little bit more work. You could see that I actually did the stenciling exactly the same. Okay. So I did the stencil the exact same way we did on the Busy Bee card, but I added a lot more to this card. So first of all, I used some of the designer paper and bring this up closer. It's basic beige, and you could see the leaf pattern in there that coordinates with these leaves. At least I hope you could see it. Then I used one of the gold foil labels. On this one, I used a circle. On this one, I used this banner. I don't know really what to call these. So I'm just calling it a gold foiled sentiment banner. Stamped the sentiment again in Mossy Meadow ink. And then what I did is I stamped the butterfly. Now in this card, I used cloud cover ink, but you could also use balmy blue. And I think in the instructions, I use balmy blue because we do not have a cloud cover classic ink pad. You have to buy an ink spot. So I thought I'm just going to do balmy blue in the instructions because that'll look good too. So again, we've got balmy blue ink. I did the inside of the butterfly with pecan pie ink, and then I fussy cut it out with scissors. So really easy to do. I want to give you a good look at that with the designer paper. But the stencils, you guys, are so easy to use. It's crazy. And then we're going to bring in our Queen Bee card. How fun is this? Again, another label. This time it's supposed to be square. I just turned it sideways so that it would be more of a diamond shape. A lot of differences in how I did the stenciling here. But before I get there, I used the same designer paper that I used here. I just made it a complete matte. Then I did another matte of Blackberry Bliss cardstock, which I love. And this time when I did the stenciling, I did Fresh Freesia, but instead of doing Fresh Freesia again, I used Blackberry Bliss, and it really pops. Neither one looks better than the other, I don't think. It's just a totally different look, right? And then I used, instead of Mossy Meadow for all the leaves, I did Pecan Pie for the more stems of the flowers, if you will. And I wanted to show you something that I hope I can show you on camera. The actual stencil is this size, maybe 1/8 of an inch larger. That's why I did this size of cardstock. So what I did here to extend it is I did this part just like I did here on this card, exactly. And then I just moved the stencil over a little bit. You could see that this image here is this image here, this image here is this image here, same. So I just did it twice. I kind of moved it over. It went off the cardstock. I like the way it looked and did it exactly the same. The only thing I changed was the second layer of Fresh Freesia is now Blackberry Bliss. And I want to show you something really cool. I am going to hold this butterfly up so you could see it. Can you see this little outline of the butterfly? That is actually a die cut from the dies that come in this Advent calendar kit. So what I did is I cut that out, and then I put it down on a piece of paper and I stamped the inside of the butterfly in Pecan Pie, the stem. What is that called? I wrote it in the instructions. I can't think of what it's called. But anyway, I did that in Pecan Pie, and then I just glued it on to the butterfly, which was cut out with scissors. And then I like the way that the sentiment turned out as a diamond, but I felt it needed a little bit more glitter since this is our Queen Bee card. So I'm going to hold up this, and this came from another door, and these were gold gems. Aren't they gorgeous? And my gosh, you guys, you get a huge pack of those. But look how that just really adds that sparkle. It really does add to it quite a bit. So there we go. The only stamps I used was for the sentiment and the butterfly. Let me lay these out. You can really see the difference between the Worker Bee card and the Queen Bee card just by changing the cardstock dimensions. And I want to make sure that, I don't know if I can get where you could see all three of these on here, because hopefully you can. That's out of camera range a little bit, but at least you could see the difference. I wanted to point out that everything we used came in this Advent calendar kit except for the inks, which were Fresh Freesia, Mossy Meadow, Daffodil Delight, and in this case, Cloud Cover and Pecan Pie. And then for cardstock, I brought in Mossy Meadow and Blackberry Bliss. But the designer paper, the sentiment labels, everything else all came from the Advent calendar kit. How fun is that? You guys, I've made 20 cards with this kit, and I haven't even made a dent. So you can get a lot of crafting joy from this $99 Advent calendar kit. So let me know in the comments below which card is your favorite, and if you would be inclined to make all three if you had the Advent calendar kit. I rather suspect you would. So there you go, my friends. Have a great rest of your day. I'll be back next week with another Step It Up stamping. Bye.